Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Malin and Lorenza about the Aviary, which is going to be out April 29th. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Malin, it's a really cool time for the thriller horror genre. I'm a big fan. It kind of keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger. What's it like to work on a film in a time where the current state of horror and thriller is so massive?
I love it. It's exciting. I'm myself obsessed with a lot of crime podcasts. So this was really fun on the way to and from work during this film.
Yeah.
I listened to a bunch of them and really got myself freaked out, especially driving home in the middle of the night from the desert. But it's a really cool genre to film and be part of. And as an actor, you know, it's wonderful to dive into something that's a real character piece and diving into a crazy psyche of a brainwashed woman.
100%. Lorenza, it's interesting because there's different projects. I'm just curious about the mindset where you work on a film like this, where, you know, a lot of the scenes is just yourself and Malin basically, versus like an ensemble cast where you're working with more people. Is it a completely different mindset in terms of preparation, or is it kind of all storytelling for you?
Ooh, I don't know. I think every project I approach differently, and it has a lot to do with like the energy and the situation of whichever one I'm on. This one, there was, you know, we were in the middle of COVID, so I was just so happy to be working again, and I'm a fan of Malin, and the script was incredible. So I had all this energy pent up from being isolated. And also, like Malin said, it's just such a gift as an actor to be able to dive into something so rich and in the mind, the horror of the mind, and being able to trust your mind or not is just a really deep and intense thing to dive into. So and I don't know if I'm answering your question, but it was,
you are absolutely
so excited to be there and to be able to like let go and just go in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Malin, I find it interesting because, you know, there are some horror movies like this too. You know, the movies you could just put on in the background and watch passively and just kind of like have some pizza, do some work. I mean, this is not the film for that. Like, you really have to pay attention. Did you notice that when you're reading the script? Like, you have to be pretty stimulated for this film.
Yeah, as much as I love the crime podcast, I wouldn't really put a horror film on in the background and just kind of eat pizza. That would not be my jam. But it is reading it. I was gripped. You know, I was at the edge of my seat, and that always says something. When I feel my body is super, I have to breathe at the end of the script and going, oh, did I breathe throughout the whole read? So that made me realize that it was definitely something that was well written, and that it always starts there, right? You want to get into a movie with a well written script, so you have the bare bones, and then depart from there.
Absolutely. Lorenzo, before we wrap up very quickly too, takeaway wise, like when they get to watch the Aviary, what are you hoping they get out of it takeaway wise, the audience?
Ooh, I hope that during it they're at the edge of their seats the way I was when I saw it, and I hope that takeaway afterwards is to trust yourself more and to question when the answer is too easy in terms of who you are.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of moments where you're kind of like, oh no, what is happening? Like, and I feel like that's the point. And you did a great job. Thank you both for your time. And people are going to be able to see it April 29th, the Aviary. Thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.